I'm realizing that I probably should have called my channel Rambly or Random Veronica because I'm noticing that almost all of the videos that I post to this channel are me just going on and on and on and on about random stuff. I hope that you enjoy that. If you're here for it, then you're here for it, and I hope you stay for it. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you things that make me happy, and I welcome you to share with me things that make you happy so that we can spread some joy. Some of what you'll see at the top of the video are just some things in our home that bring me great joy. I don't have time to show you everything, so it's just a couple of quick little highlights about the spots and things in my home that make me just the happiest, at least right now. And maybe one day I'll be brave and like do a house tour. We have a lot of eclectic things in our home that we have collected together throughout the years that we've been together. We don't have that crate and barrel home. We don't have that like restoration hardware type of look. Ours is very like vintagey. We have a lot of antique items that we've collected and that my husband has restored, and we've combined that with newer items out of necessity. So it's not that we don't like a clean, modern look. I do like a clean house. Let's be clear, I don't play with clutter. I do not play with clutter. In fact, that's one of the things that makes me really happy is a house that is clean, free of dust and dirt, and where things have a place. And we do our best to keep things neat and clean. I'm rambling. I'm going on and on. I'm being random here. But we do have items in our house. I would say a good 75 to 80% of our furnishings and things like that are items that we have purchased at auction or that we've gotten at like antique shops and so forth, because we just like the look and we appreciate the craftsmanship of a lot of antique furniture that is just a lot harder to find today. So I'll share with you just a few little items from our home, and then just some other things that are not things, items that aren't physical things that actually bring me a lot of joy. And I'll also do a quick get ready with me for this look. It's not quick, it's actually long. It's long, but I'll chat with you as I do that. So I hope you'll stick around, and as we go, please be sure to be dropping in the comments things that you're grateful for that bring you joy. So I'll kick off with talking about this bed frame here, which may not seem like a lot to most people, but for us, this is a pretty big deal and is a long time in coming, because we had an antique headboard a few months ago that we took off of the bed. We purchased it at an auction. My husband refinished it, and if I can find a picture, I will insert it. And we love that headboard, but we really were craving a footboard and like full on sideboards and all of that. The problem, in case you're wondering what that thing is, I promise it's not an animal. It is a cast iron alligator that we use to prop the door, prop the door open. Anyway, back to the bed thing. So we had looked and looked and looked for a headboard and a footboard that we would like. We looked everywhere, and the problem is, if you're familiar with furniture and how it's made, there's just so much junk out on the market today. There is veneer, there is just basically cardboard, pressed cardboard that's put out, especially when you look at some of these retailers, and I'm not going to name any names because I don't want to offend any of you out there if you have furniture from these companies, but they're out here charging $5,000, $6,000 and $7,000 for a bed frame that is absolute garbage. It's, mass manufactured and pressed cardboard, basically, with a little veneer over it, and you're paying more for the name of the store than the bed. So we really wanted a solid wood frame that was, one, made in the States. Not that I have anything against products made abroad, but we wanted a certain amount of craftsmanship. So we went with a local furniture maker who does real wood, and we really like this. We wanted something stately that had masculine lines. The headboard that we had before had very feminine lines with almost like a fruit motif up at the top, and it was beautiful, a Victorian headboard, but we wanted just something a little bit more linear and clean. So this is what we ended up with, and we had to have it made, so it took months and months to have it made. And we're really delighted with it. We wrestled this sucker up the stairs because we didn't have it delivered. We had the nerve to go pick it up ourselves. And you all, I should have filmed us trying to lug this sucker up the stairs. We did it. And yes, that is a Christmas pillow that says believe, because I just love it. And yes, it's May of 2022 and I still haven't changed out my pillow. But anyway, this is the first thing that's making us happy because we paid a decent amount of money for this, certainly not what some of these crazy retailers are out here asking for their fiberboard garbage. But we paid a nice penny and it was worth every penny. It's heavy, it's sturdy, and you feel like you're inside an iron ship when you're sleeping in this bed and it brings me joy. This family room in our home brings me great joy, especially seeing my husband sitting right there in his comfortable chair, watching TV, enjoying his free time away from work. He's watching Ted Lasso. Look at him fast forwarding through the scenes. He's so funny. But I really love the warmth and character of this room. I also love this table that he made for us. He handmade this table. He picked out the pieces of wood, polished them down, and put them together into a table and purchased the metal legs that it's sitting on. Lots of great memories around this table with our family. His office that used to be the dining room also brings me joy. This was my office at one point. He has two barber's chairs, one here and one in my office that he restored. And look at the color on these walls. It was here when I moved in and I just love it. I put these shelves up for him with some of his bowls that he's carved. He refinished this chair as well. There's his beautiful oak desk and this Italian leather couch that I picked out for a really good deal. It's an awesome, awesome bomber leather couch with a really inexpensive ottoman that we got from Walmart. I love this space. I love hanging out here and talking with him. And I love my office right across the foyer. This room brings me great joy. It used to be the formal living room for this house, and I converted it to an office with a gas fireplace. This is the bomb.com in the winter when it's cold. Here's the second barber's chair that Darren refinished, and I really love sitting over there and just thinking in between meetings and so forth. Never mind my office chair there to the left. You'll see in a minute why it's off to the side. But this setup here that I purchased off of Amazon with the rising desk, the lifted desk with the screens, is just fantastic. And this little doohickey on the floor is a pad for my feet so they never get tired. I really, really enjoy my office space. I feel inspired when I come in here and I want to do my best work. I do use the chair and lower the desk when I get tired. So we're going to jump into the get ready with me portion of this video. I won't walk you through every single thing that I do. I'll just keep talking about those things that make me happy. But my base products today, which I've already applied, of course, moisturizer, of course, a little bit of self-tanner from that Saint-Tropez bronzing mist water that I always use. I use the Ulta Beauty Under Eye Primer. I need to go ahead and pull out another Becca Under Eye Anti-Fatigue Primer. It's in that closet, linen closet, and I just haven't dug back in there into the stores that I keep as backups. For eyeshadow primer, the Hourglass Veil, which I'm trying to make my way through. This is a pretty good primer. I don't know that I would repurchase. I wouldn't not repurchase it. You know, there's so many different products to try that I may give this one a break and make my way through the rest of my collection. Primer on my actual skin is the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer that looks like this. I like that it gives me a nice sticky base for my foundation. Foundation is one of my favorites. It lifted up here on the nose a little bit today, and I'm not sure if it was something about my base products like the primer reacting with it funny because I haven't had the problem before. But it's the Tom Ford Traceless Foundation. It has a little bit of SPF in it. This is one of the pricier foundations. I think this retails for well over $100, maybe up into the $150 range. You know, I didn't pay that for it. I went to the cosmetics company store. It was already on sale and I got an extra 60% off. So it was, I want to say somewhere in the $50 range or so, which is still really pricey, I think, for a makeup product like that. And it's in the color 6.0 Natural. My concealer is the trusty Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. This is in the color light beige. And for those of you that have texture under your eyes like I do, I just want to share that I have to put it on, pat it out either with my fingers or with the pointy edge of a sponge or something like that, or a concealer brush. I have to let it start to settle. And for me, I have to go back in and pat it out again let it settle, and then I powder my face and then I pat it out again. So it's never completely, truly creaseless, but those 3 sets of patting motions help a lot. And I finished off the base products before I go in with eyeshadow and color and all of that with a new product that I've been loving. It is not new. Actually, I think, is this discontinued? Do you know? It's the Marc Jacobs Perfecting Coconut Setting Powder. And this is 34 Invisible. Is that a color? But anyway, this I really like a lot. There's something just really soft about it and very blurring. I applied it. I'm trying to do this more, although I can't promise that I'm going to continue. Spot apply with something smaller than like a huge brush that I usually use like this. This is easier, quicker, a lighter dusting. This for days that you're taking pictures or you're recording or something like that, you're video conferencing even, and you really want some matte coverage, you may want to use a spot application like this. For my eyeshadow today, I think I'm going to be digging into my Sydney Grace Singles palette. How glorious is this collection of shadows? And I'm not sure what I want to do. There's a part of me that really wants to hang out in this area because it's super cold here today. It's mid-May, but it's like 40 degrees right now, and it's 1:30 on a Sunday afternoon. So I'm wanting to like dig into the fall colors, but then I'm also wanting to play in the purples. Maybe the purples will win since I want to do some recording later on and I want something fancy on my eyes. So let's go on and jump in. So back on the topic of things that just make me delighted and happy. So you saw some as we kicked off the video here, and I thought I would just maybe talk through the others. Of course, friends, of course, what makes me the happiest? Knowing that the people that I love and care about are in good health, relatively speaking, that they are thriving, they don't have any issues, right? Any mental issues that they're working through, any emotional issues, any financial issues, that they're just content and satisfied. I'm going in with just a really simple like beigey color as a backdrop for my eyes. So, thinking about my husband and I, our 3 kids, knowing that they are growing and thriving and healthy, and they have, good friendships, they're doing well in school, they're finding their way through this world, they're developing their interests, and they all have different interests, including some of them, 2 of them make videos. There's one of our kids that writes, which I think is just fantastic. And several of them play instruments. We have a piano player, we have a singer and a guitar player. And so how could I not be happy for them and about that they have found things in their life that they like, they enjoy, and that allow them to use the creative energy that every human has somewhere deep down inside. So that makes us happy. It also makes us happy that, at least for me, it makes me very happy that none of our kids are into anything dangerous at this point. Look, growing up in the South Bronx, there were so many opportunities for kids to get into dangerous situations and to just make decisions that are not smart. And I'm really glad that I'm happy that we're able to give our kids a lifestyle where those options are hard to seek out. Like you really have to go find them and you have to mean to get in trouble, versus where I grew up where you were dodging getting in trouble more often than not. Next, I'm going to go in with like a beigey pinky color and see if I can create some dimension and depth here in the back of my crease area, the depth of my crease area, just ever so slightly. Actually, that's not true. I'm gonna go crazy and make it really dark in there for recording purposes. So that makes me happy. And of course, then seeing my extended family and friends, of course, my immediate family, my sisters, my mom, my dad, all doing, decently well, all things considered. And my friends that I care about, my colleagues, people in my life that I want to thrive. I say that like there are people that I don't want to thrive. I want everyone to thrive. The only people that I don't want to thrive are people that are harmful to society, people that are cruel. I'd rather they just be locked away and not thought of again. I don't have patience for anyone in our society that gets joy out of harming others in any way. That got all weird and deep. But aside from that, of course, I wish everyone the best. Anyway, seeing the immediate ones in my life do well, thrive in their careers, thrive in their personal lives, and all of that brings me tremendous joy, of course. Now I'm going to start to go in with some deeper colors, maybe a little bit of purple in here. So what's coming up next is like this mauvey purpley color. Let's see how it actually translates on the eye. Other things that make me super happy are in the morning. I love, well, it starts with the night before. I love to set my coffee maker. These are what you call little pleasures, my friends. Little pleasures that amount to big changes in your day. I love to make sure that my coffee maker is ready to go, that it's got water in it, that the K-pods are nearby, that my cup is there, any accoutrements that I want to add, like my skinny syrups and whatever else you want to add, right? That it's there and ready. And I have an automatic coffee maker, thank you God, where it kicks on at 5 o'clock in the morning, just when I'm really like up and moving. Sometimes I get up earlier than that, but 5 o'clock, somewhere between 4 and 5, I'm usually getting up, except on the weekends. And that the coffee maker's there ready to go and delivering that like hot, amazing cup of coffee. I like my coffee just black with a little bit of Splenda. I used to doctor up my coffee a lot. I used to lighten it up with sugared creamers and lots of other stuff, syrups and things. I don't do a lot with my coffee these days. I just kind of like black coffee, good black coffee. My husband has a fancy espresso machine that brings him joy. And when he decides he wants to make me a cup out of that, if we're downstairs, because I have my coffee maker up here in our bedroom, that brings me tremendous joy as well. I think I'm going to do a light color on the inside and a dark purple on the outside. Let's see how that works out for me. So other things, it's May and April showers bring May flowers here in the eastern part of the United States. So things are flowering, and that brings me great, great joy. We have gardenia bushes outside that we got last summer, and we have peony bushes. We have some other flowers, but those two they bring me the greatest joy. The smell of the gardenias as they're blooming and the look of the peony flowers are just beautiful. They're second to none for me. We have some calla lilies and some other things that grow out there, but watching those bloom, watching the Japanese maples fill out, there's just that point where it's not green and then it is. Like a week later, all of a sudden, everything has bloomed. There's a full like forest canopy overhead and all of that. And there's just something really glorious, like a reminder that there is a larger force at work beyond all of our little tiny petty problems that we think are so important. There is an order in this world that is beyond our comprehension. And it doesn't matter your religious beliefs. This isn't about religious belief. You can make it about that. It's more so just about the fact that there's a lot of mystery and wonder in this world that brings me joy. So we have a family of fox. Is it foxes? Is that the plural of fox? It's not foxi. Foxes. I'm going to go with foxes without having to look it up. There's a family of foxes out back in this little like knoll in our backyard. And my husband gets such a kick out of watching them. Now, if you had asked me as a middle schooler or a teenager, I would have thought, what a fuddy-duddy thing to do to watch a family of foxes. But it brings me joy that it brings him joy. He gets all excited. He goes and runs to them. I mean, this is like, my husband is like an alpha male. He's a man's man. But to see him get all from that little fox family and run back there to check them out is just like one of the cutest things ever. Little things like that, watching our bird families. I know, who am I? Like I turned into this like old fuddy-duddy lady, but our nests in the backyard are something that bring me joy. Listening to the owls at night, fascinating. Listening to the frogs at night in the creek just brings me peace and makes me feel centered. Absolutely beautiful. Very, very calming to the soul. And a dog off in the distance. If we're lucky, we'll hear an owl. Hoo hoo! But maybe not tonight. It's really nice when they're right here in these trees and they sound like they're right in your ear. Woo hoo hoo! It's pretty awesome. I have these two eyeshadows I want to play with. One is called Winter Garden, and it looks like it has a little shift on it. So I'm going to try that on the center of my eye. And then this one is called Sweetheart, which is this deep purpley color. And I'm going to try that on the outside and maybe as a liner too. So wish me luck here. Something else that brings me great joy is, although I haven't started to do anything on the platform, TikTok. When I'm in the mood for it, I have to be like in the mood and I have to have a good like hour of time to just blow. Like I can't fall asleep or I woke up too early and no one else is awake. There's nothing else to do but like be on your social media. Getting on TikTok makes me happy because the way that I have my feed set up, whatever I've given to the algorithm, brings me silly, silly stuff. You know, funny relationship aspects, funny parenting things. And it just brings me joy, the silliness, the absolute creativity and silliness, all in like these little 30-second clips, sometimes less, sometimes in 10 seconds, you get a clip that just makes you holler with laughter. And it's like instant joy to get on TikTok and just scroll and scroll and scroll through some of this creative, super funny stuff. Do you all do TikTok? Do you get on there? Do you have TikTok accounts? Can I follow you? Are you funny? I want to know. I want to do TikTok. There's a part of me that would love to spend my entire life just doing TikTok reels. How fun would that be? But I know that at least for me and my family, that's not reality and that's not gonna pay our bills. But I so admire people that find the time and the energy and the creativity to bring us their best humor and joy on TikTok. How delightful. I have gotten, this is why you should do your eyes first, friends, because I have gotten stuff underneath. So I took the liberty of going ahead and cleaning up the spillage. There's a word for it, fallout, that's what it's called, from the eyeshadow, and also deepened up the crease. So as you can see from back here, you can barely see it. Up close, of course, you see it all, but who's filming like this except in Get Ready With Me videos, right? I usually film from back here. And in that way, it's advantageous to deepen up the crease more to create more dimension. At least that's the look that I personally like. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of liner underneath, and then I'm gonna line my eyes as well, my eyelids, with a black eyeliner and do some false lashes. Let's have some fun today. So I just did a whole bunch of stuff to try to pull this look together. I have the Sephora eyebrow pencil. It's kind of chunky, so I don't like the lack of precision, but I don't like overly structured brows either. Anyway, this is what we're working with today. Every time I finish doing my eyebrows, I feel like an owl, you know? Or like I have two big slugs on my face. But anyway, did the eyebrows, put a little bit of the Kosas brow gel thingy, the brow wow, what, air brow in some chocolatey color. You know, brush that through my eyebrows. I also did a little bit of Stila eye glitter on the inside just to give it some pop because I felt like it was missing some zhuzh. And I put some falsies on. I don't remember, they're 110s and I think they're Ardell Wispies 110, maybe Demi Wispies, I don't really know, don't quote me on that. They aren't overly dramatic eyebrows, but they're enough that if you're looking at a camera, it gives you a little bit more eyelash. Did I say eyebrow eyelash? Then you, without, right? And then use the Monsieur Big Lancome for mascara. Let's do bronzer, let's do cheek and lips and maybe a little bit of highlighter and then curl hair. Do you see that I'm already getting oily? We've been chatting for 20 minutes, maybe less, depending on how I edit this video. And I'm just like a big oil slick, you all. I'm gonna have to pat more powder on before I get started. I'm gonna bronze with the Persona Multi-Stick, Bronze Multi-Stick in the color Sahara. Persona. You can get these at Ulta, and I really like this darker, cooler tone color for a combination of contour and bronzer, although I'm going to even go over that because I'm going to be extra today with my Huda Glow Wish Soft Radiance Bronzing Powder in the color 2 medium. So let's get to it. Other things that bring me joy. Gosh, there's just so many things that we can talk about, right? I could be here like all day in this one video. It could really be several days long as I talk about all the wonderful things that bring me joy. But let's go to some things that come to mind, like grilled food, and it's grilled right. And if you're a vegan or anti-meat, I'm sorry, but I love a fantastic grilled steak, grilled chicken that's done just right and is juicy and has the grill marks on it. It brings me absolute joy. Grilled onions, grilled asparagus. We love to grill out all year round. It doesn't matter the temperature. We love to put our meat on the grill and our vegetables on the grill. I love roasted vegetables too. I mean, it goes without saying that fragrance, I have a fragrance channel, and makeup and shoes and purses and great clothing bring me joy. I mean, I'm a woman. What can I say? I love all of those things, you know. I love smart colleagues, my smart colleagues being kind and creative and supportive of each other brings me tremendous joy. A full tank of gas brings me joy. Now I'm just going on and on. I'm just rambling. So many things that we can mention. The holidays bring me joy. I look forward to holidays. I look forward to fireworks on July 4th, even if I'm watching them on TV, which is the case more often than not. I just enjoy the whole like pomp and circumstance of it, the whole ceremony of it. Love Halloween, love everything about that. What do we think of this bronzer slash contour thing happening here? I wanted to use a stiff brush because these stick bronzer contoury things, they can be hard to spread out with a fluffy brush. I would definitely love to hear what's the 1, 2, or 3 things that are bringing you tremendous joy right now, just this period of your life. We can talk about it again in a few months. We can do this in the fall and say what brings us joy then, like apple picking, pumpkin picking, pumpkin spice latte. Are you a spice latte hater? I have some spice latte haters in this house. I gotta be careful about them. I gotta be careful and go get my little pumpkin spice latte from Starbucks on my own because they're really judgy in this house. I do need to do a little bit of bronzer slash contoury thing on my nose. So I'm gonna try not to make it a disaster. You all have been so patient watching me through my bronzing disasters where I used the wrong tool and the wrong product and just over apply. I'm notorious. So I'm going with a little fan brush and be a little bit more delicate about it. Here we go. A little more targeted for you all than previously. Okay, I will work with that, all right? Compared to some of the stuff that y'all have seen in previous videos. I am sloppy loppy when it comes to bronzer and contour. But back to things that make you happy. It's like you have to find that every day, even when you're having a bad day. Look for the beauty in things. I realize sometimes, and in some situations, that's a lot easier said than done, especially for all my friends out there that are in any kind of physical pain, emotional or mental pain. It can be really challenging and sound almost a little like Pollyanna-ish when somebody's like, oh, just find the joy in life. But it is out there. It is out there. And I guess I'm saying to the extent that you can in the circumstances that you're in, see if you can find little things that bring you joy. I also want to mention that all of you bring me tremendous joy, which is the main reason that I do YouTube. YouTube is incredibly time consuming for creators. You know, you have the prep time, you have the filming time, you have the editing time. You want to respond to comments and interact with folks. It is time consuming, but boy, is it worth it. And how fun is it to hear, so I'm going in with this Huda powder, Glowish. So fun to hear from all of you, hear you weigh in. And most of all, when you tell me that you are relating to the craziness in these videos, especially over here on this channel on Everyday Veronica, it's comforting. It feels like I have a tribe of friends out there that are going through these life experiences with me. Do you feel like that when you watch videos? That's part of what got me into YouTube to begin with as a viewer. You know, I've been watching YouTube for a long time, and more recently, I would say like in the last 5 years, got into makeup channels. And that's where I kind of started to get the inkling that I wanted to start a channel. And I've mentioned before that I started the Everyday Veronica channel with the intent of doing an all-in-one. And I ended up doing a lot of fragrance, which is really a very sort of niche community. And, you know, when I was doing makeup videos over there, they just weren't as well received. And so I thought, let me do this separately, and that's okay. Although the vast majority of us, I'm going back in with some powder, will never have the opportunity to meet in person. Maybe some of us will sometime. Although we will probably never meet, that does not mean that we don't have a little community. And I'm not just talking about this channel, I'm talking about like all the networks of channels, right? All the people connected across all of those channels. There's common viewership for channels. There might be 20 people watching this channel that also watch similar other channels, and they share that in common. I've met some really amazing content creators too, and not just on YouTube. A number of you are just strictly on Instagram, and I love following you and following what you do. I know it looks like I'm undoing everything I just did, and then I just poke myself right in the eyeball. I'm actually going to double duty it. I'm going to go back in with this, and I'm going to go back in with the bronzer because I don't know what the hell I'm doing, and it just feels like the right thing to do. But anyway, another thing that makes me happy inside of you all making me happy are the other content creators that I have met. Like I said, either on Instagram that don't do any YouTube, and then the ones that are on YouTube, especially on the Veronica Says channel. I've met a lot of content creators over there, and we do a lot together, like chat. We have chats going on Instagram. And we share decants of fragrances. It's a way for us to try lots of fragrances without having to spend all our money on some perfume because we could spend like just insane amounts. And I think we do spend insane amounts, but it's a way to save at least a little bit of that insane amount. So what you see over there, that little lineup of bottles is a set of decants that I have going to Lala Da Beauty. Hey, Lala. In fact, as I'm recording this, I see her DMs coming in to share her address with me so I can get those out to her. Anyway, we have a lot of fun doing that. It's a way to get to know fragrances and get to know each other and just share the joy of perfumes. We may hate the decants that we send each other. We may love them and purchase some. That's not the important part. The important part is the fun that we have, just trying to figure out what do you think you might want to try and so forth. Luminoso Baked Blush, which is this nice combination of a pinky corally or corally pink color from Milani. This thing has withstood the test of time in the makeup community. I really love this squirrel-haired brush it's a cheek brush from Chikuhodu. And I like to just do like the makeup artists do. Well, they do it upward, they do. It's all the rage to just brush up. I also like the Charlotte Tilbury swoop. More of my favorite things. I really, really love to put my pajamas on at the end of the day. Our friend here on YouTube who goes by Sunny, well, that's actually her name. She doesn't just go by it, but Sunny Sense. She had in one of her videos how she just loves to put on her pajamas. And I thought, amen, sister. I do too. I love, if I'm not having to go out and do stuff, I don't want to look like sloppy all day because I do shower and all of that, but I love to put on a comfy pair of pajamas and just lounge. And that can be like, I consider my yoga pants pajamas too. I actually have pajamas on the bottom of my body right now. I've got some Halloween flannel pajamas on because it's so cold, but I'm gonna be real done up from here to the top. I think in keeping with the color scheme, I'm gonna do a little bit of highlight with Benefit's Cookie. Maybe a little pinky for the look today, but let's try it. I want to do a little bit in the upper brow, like the arch of the brow. Let's see how that works out. Make sure it's not a competing color. Yep, beautiful. Okay, and then I'll do it on the other side. I'm actually just going to take that powder brush and just do a little bit over the cheeks. And I regret that immediately. That was just entirely too much. And I bet you out there were like, don't do that, Veronica. Don't do that. So I'm going to go back in and dull that up with my blush. I used the Charlotte, no, that's a lie. I used the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist on my face, and I'm letting it dry. And then I'm going to pat down with my sponge. For lip liner, I used the Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil in Anywhere Caffeine. And I'm about to put like a light pink to contrast with the darker eye. So music, can we talk about music? Music, some people feel like music changes like your whole vibration. If you're someone who believes that people are energy or give off energy, and I think I am one of those people that believes that, I don't think I am. I do believe ultimately at the end of the day, we are all some form of energy. It's energy that makes up the universe, or at least that's the current form of thinking. Gosh, it's a whole like physics lesson. We won't go into all of that. I want like one of the lightest pinks I have. So I'm going in with If I Want To 001 Matte from Revlon. There's the color. It's about one of the lightest pinks that I have that's matte. I don't, because this is shiny, I want my lip to be matte. That's giving me what I need, my friends. So yeah, good music. I have all of these playlists on Spotify. What do you use to listen to music? And I've done a lot to build up some pretty fantastic lists. I have everything. I have a workout list. I have a meditation list. I have a list when I'm feeling solemn. I have a list when I'm feeling lonely and blue. I have a list when I want to get hyped up. I have a list when I'm on the road and just want songs to like sing along to. But I find that putting on good music automatically lifts my mood, like immensely, makes me so super happy. So folks, those are just a few of the things that bring me tremendous joy. So question, talking about what makes you happy is a form of expressing gratitude, obviously. You don't need me to tell you that. You know that. Y'all are incredibly smart, intuitive, intelligent viewers. Do you keep a gratitude journal? I just wonder. I know that Oprah does that. And I tried to at one point, but it's like I rail against the having to do it part. I know that sounds silly, but if I am supposed to do it, like there's a rule to do it, the undisciplined me is like, psh, I don't have to do that. I'll do that later. But I wonder if you do keep a gratitude journal, can you let us know in the comments? And just as importantly, I'd be curious to know, do you feel like it has made a difference in your life? Are you noticing anything different? Do you notice things more because you're filling out a gratitude journal? Are you feeling even more gratitude? Does gratitude beget gratitude? Does gratitude multiply gratitude? I'm curious to know your thoughts. So let me go back to like the YouTube community of friends and the joy around that, because I don't think that I adequately expressed my thoughts there. How fun it has been to meet people from literally all over the world. I mean, we've got viewers, we, meaning me and you, because you're part of this little corner of YouTube as well as a viewer, and you interact with each other in the comments, or you should feel free to if you don't. We've got viewers from everywhere, out to the Philippines, South Africa, Sweden. Hey, Nadine. We've got friends in Eastern Europe. We've got friends in Russia watching, all over the place, everywhere. And I love it. Friends in South America, friends in Brazil. I love that in one platform, we can meet all these friends, virtual friends, who share a passion. In this case, it could be makeup or hair or issues and challenges and joys of being a middle-aged woman. Am I middle-aged? Do I count as middle-aged? I'm 47. I still cannot accept that I'm actually a middle-aged woman. Like in my mind, I still feel like I just turned 24 or something, and I'm just getting into adulthood and figuring it out. But anyway, that we have friends all over the world that unite around these common interests, feelings, themes, emotions. And I have to tell you, just about, there's a reason I say just about everyone that I have encountered on this channel and the other channel they've all been some of just the nicest people, at least appear to be, through our interactions online and on Instagram and DM and all that. It's just really fun. It's fun to meet, right, virtually different folks and chat about shared interests. Just really, really nice humans. I've met a few buttheads. Like, let's just be clear. We find some trolls. 99.9% of the folks that have bothered to leave a comment or to send me a message or whatever have been just so lovely, really lovely, kind, funny personalities. I just have so much fun. When I'm doing my hair, I like to let it set. So I curl it. I don't mess with it. I let it cool down completely because I'm one of those people, my curls fall out anyway. I don't need to help them fall out anymore. So I let them set. I might put on a little bit of hairspray later. I haven't done that yet. But I just like to, for me, just rake the ends of them with my fingers. It's gonna fall out more, so that's gonna do it for now. I'm gonna go put on some jewelry and I'm going to film some videos for the other channel. But I am so grateful, speaking of being grateful and thankful, that you have hung out with me today through this look. Remember to drop in the comments just a couple of notes about what makes you happy so that we can spread joy to each other today. Thanks for hanging out. I will see you in the next video. Take care, friends.